Hello and welcome to Get Into Games on Air, a podcast about board games and the people who play them. My name's Craig, and joining me, as always, is Becky.
Hi!
Hello. Episode 6, ladies and gentlemen. We are on episode 6, A Table for Two. So in today's exciting episode, we are going to be obviously talking about games that have hit our table. We're going to be talking about games, especially to play with your loved one this Valentine's Day, or Palentine's Day if you don't have anyone and you just have it with your friends. Then, of course, we're going to talk about our favourite two-player only specific games, and some of you have sent across some amazing board game menus that we would love to share with you.
And Craig is going to hope that his voice lasts
I will hope that my voice lasts. Yes, I may get huskier.
It's getting croakier.
I may get huskier, but it is the season of love. So,
I don't want that kind of love.
The husky voice might well suit. I don't know. So, what have we been doing? What's happened this week? Anything exciting?
We've been playing? Well, we've played a couple of games on BGA. So we played Forever Home Again.
Yes.
We played a very silly game of My First Castle Panic.
My First Castle Panic is... I don't know why My First Castle Panic is on Board Game Arena.
It was literally, I've got cards. I can move pretty much
I've got cards.
Any person.
You've got cards.
We've overcome.
Can I have your card? I don't understand why the young children's version is available online when the adult version isn't. It doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know. We played Six Nymph, and then we played a game of Robot Quest Arena. We played Lost Ruins of Arnott with our new shinies.
Ooh, shiny coins.
And I took lots of pictures and probably spammed Instagram a little bit too much with my shiny pictures.
Absolutely, but why wouldn't you?
And then we played Wingspan with more shiny.
That was
shiny
also
and
true.
Upgrades, which we'll talk about later. We played Koale, we played Lacuna, we played a game of Planet Unknown, we played Tiwanaku, we've played 3 games of Blood on the Clock Tower.
Oh, that's good. That was fun.
We played with the new character, the Village Idiot. You added that in.
Oh yeah, the Village Idiot. So much fun. So silly.
And then we played a blind Trouble Brewing, which is just always chaos. But I did manage to win as the Scarlet Woman who didn't know she was the Scarlet Woman.
Exactly.
So that was good. And we played a game of Acropolis, and then we've started playing The Rise of Fenris, the Scythe campaign. So we played 1 game of that. We did,
and it was really good. So it was fun. Fun times have been had.
So that is what we played this week.
So what was your favourite game this week, would you say?
Clock Tower, as always.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I enjoyed the game of Scythe once we started getting used to it.
I did not, because I got thrashed.
Well, yeah, but it was fun. It was still.
I think I forgot how to play, and that is never a good idea. So I was penalised for forgetting the rules. Yeah,
I think as a very valid thing is when you're playing a board game, remember how the board game is played, because...
to be fair, I had remembered how to play, but I had forgotten just how important the popularity track was. And so at final scoring, it was like 140 to you and 40 to me.
Yeah, I think you remembered how to play, but you just didn't remember points.
Yeah.
So
well, live and learn.
It is one of those sort of things. So as Valentine's Day is fast approaching and people are looking for exciting games to play potentially or things to do, we thought we'd take this opportunity to speak about some of our games that we really... So we're going to break this down into 2 bits. We're going to talk about 2-player games a little bit later on, but we're going to talk about games that they're designed for more than 2 players, but we think they work really well at 2 players. In fact, they're probably the way we prefer to play a lot of them at 2-player, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Do you want to kick us off?
So I kind of organise this by one, games that I really like to play that I would always get to the table, but also games that, for me, any more than 2 players, and I'm not sure how you sit around the table with them in some instances.
That's true. Yeah.
So there's three games on my list. Well, 5 technically, but I've banded some together that I really would love to play and would pick to play on a Valentine's Day. And there's one that I think I would play, but I would only play it at 2 players because I can't see how you would see what to do otherwise. So I'm going to talk about that first. Red Rising.
Mm-hmm.
I do like playing it, but the words on the cards are so small that you have to be sitting face on to be able to see what to do.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want to play that with any more than just 2 players because it would be crazy trying to pick up the cards and waiting for people to read what the cards say. I almost think you have to be like face on to the way the cards are organised. So I wouldn't want to play it at any more than
I do
2.
find that a lot with these sort of card based, when cards have got a lot of text. I know it's difficult to do because they need a lot of text, but Red Rising especially is one of those ones with a lot of text, and it's like in expeditions, like the cards, like, could you make the writing a little bit smaller, please? Because you were actually making it too easy. No, yeah, the writing is one of those things, so it definitely lends itself to being able to be near the board, in front of it, to be able to read everything that's going on. So yeah, and it's an enjoyable game. I don't know, you've started reading the books, haven't you?
Yeah, and I think that gives you a bit more context to what's going on and a bit more enjoyable. I do enjoy it, but it's just you have to read a lot of text.
I have no idea what's going on, so I don't really understand the characters that much. But yeah, it's a fun one.
It is. Shall I go through all of my lists and then you go through yours?
If you want to do it that way, yeah, let's do it. Mix it up a bit.
Ooh.
Ladies first, Valentine's,
another game
romance
that I thought I wouldn't want to play it any more than 2 players, but I do enjoy it at 2 players, is Rush MD, because there's just a lot to set up.
Yeah,
and then I worry that at any more than 2 players, it would just be like crazy because you set up this hospital.
yeah.
And you have to cure the patients. You have to do all these diagnostic tests.
Yeah, Rush MD, for anyone who doesn't know, is a real time game. So everything's happening with sand timers. It's the same as like Kitchen Rush and Magic Maze. But like you said, yeah, there's a lot of setup to get going.
But I think it works at 2 because you can have people working on one patient while the other one's working. But I think at 4, there would be sand timers everywhere. It would you wouldn't know what was going on. There's only 4 minutes anyway around, so it would just be totally chaotic. So I would only play it at 2.
It's hard to like. Have you done this? Like with 2 people, like going, what have you done? Sorry, I was paying attention to this patient over here. What were you doing over there? With 4 people, it's like, oh, damn, we've just given this guy, we've overdosed this patient, and
we do that enough as it is.
We do that quite regularly. And my thing with Rush MD is, as much as I do love that game, it's fun. It is such a setup for such a short game. That is the only problem.
Yeah, but it's cute, and you get to do loads of cool things.
It's one of those ones I highly recommend.
We're not getting rid of it ever.
No, but you set it up before your friends arrive for game night and go.
Yeah, that's why you have a table that you can put it underneath.
Yeah.
The other one, or the other 2 that I think, Everdell and Farshore, because the tree and the way everything is laid out, it lends itself to 2 players, I feel.
Yeah. We
have played both of them at higher player counts, and to be honest, I get a bit bored when there's more players. It takes a long time to go around. It just, that I feel like the sweet spot would be 2 or 3, but 4 seems too many. And especially Farshore, when you can't fit the boats on the board. Yeah. If there's 4 of you all.
It's hard to work out. Everdell especially. 3 arguably, 4 someone sitting behind that tree, like someone sitting behind something, or you've got to move everything. Then you've got to move the tree out the way, and then what's the point in the tree? What is the point in the tree?
I mean, you could have it side on, but it's nice at 2. I enjoy it at 2,
and it's got the card situation, the same thing that you had with Red Rising. The cards are one way up, and it works so well at 2 player.
Yeah, I do.
I think we preferred Farshore at 2.
Yeah, definitely. We played it at 4 and it was slow.
It just dragged, and it didn't feel.
The other one that is like, well, it's my second. It was in my top 10, number 2. Is Viticulture, and Viticulture World to a certain extent. Love playing it at 2, but again, the more people you add in, just takes a long time to get back round to your turn. Especially Viticulture World, where you're having to work cooperatively. I don't know that it's great if 4 people are pulling in different directions. I prefer it at 2 because it's fun for me and you to play.
Yeah,
but I don't want to play it at 4 players.
I think that's a thing. Whenever you have a speaking of Viticulture World specifically, when you have cooperative versions of games, like you can get that alpha gamer problem. And with a game as complex as Viticulture, it can get to a point where it's like, we need to do this. This is how we do it. Let's do it. And then everyone's just following that narrative. Whereas the 2 people, you can have a better discussion about that.
Also, Viticulture, again, the board is better if you're sitting face onto it and you can see across the seasons, can't you?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to be the person on the other side. We always sit next to each other to play it. I wouldn't want to be on the other side upside down
again. Yeah. I mean, I do like Viticulture at 3, 4. I don't know, 6 probably would drag a bit too long. I do like it at 3. I just like the fact that it opens up extra spaces and the extra. The good thing about that with extra spaces that Everdell doesn't have is that the extra space also gives you a perk.
Yeah.
Whereas you don't get that in some other.
But I happily will play it on Valentine's Day with you and enjoy drinking a glass of wine while playing it.
Yes.
And you can sniff the cards.
Oh yes, because it is still the best smelling board game ever. That's another episode all in itself. The best smelling board games.
No, we're not doing that.
And they will all be Stonemaier games because they all smell the same.
So, what are the games that you like to play at 2-player?
Okay, so games that are not specific for 2-player, but I enjoy. And I think I enjoy some of these more at 2-player than others. One of them we don't actually own, but we have played in the real life, and we play it on the BGA life, is Azul.
Yeah.
Just your standard, normal...
not the summer, not the pavilion.
Just your normal building a Portuguese toilet, tiling a Portuguese toilet.
Portuguese toilet?
I don't know. What else do you tile these days? I don't have tiles anywhere else other than my bathroom. So I'm tiling a Portuguese toilet for fun.
You carry on.
Thank you. It's very simple. It's very straightforward, and I like it at 2. It's still strategic enough. There's still like, oh, they're going to take that from me. Blah 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 blah. I really like it at 2. I'm not
speedy at 2. At 4, you have to wait.
I'm not fussed to play it any higher than that.
No, I agree.
But it's a nice little one. My other one, I'm going to put 2 games together. Ooh. 2 of the older games in our collection, not because they are the same. It's just that they're basically the same. So one of them, and I do enjoy this still, and it has its own breed of things now, is Pandemic. That's still, for me, a very good 2-player game. Is Pandemic the ideal Valentine's Day game? No, probably not. Unless you're listening to Tim Minchin's "You Grew on Me Like a Tumor," then maybe. But
the Star Wars one's right. For
the Star Wars one, yeah, I would say any theme, any version of that.
I think that's the same as Viticulture World, isn't it? It's that cooperative, but the minute you start adding more people in, it's just everybody wants to go in a different direction.
The other one would be Flashpoint Fire Rescue. Again, another game I do enjoy a lot. With it's the same. It's basically the same thing. Any of those like Forbidden Islands, Forbidden Jungles, Pandemics, Flashpoints. I
don't feel like they're enhanced by having more people.
No, they're 4 actions. Next person's go 4 actions.
The only thing is, you could have an extra person with a power, I guess.
Yeah,
but it doesn't matter.
It doesn't help. It doesn't. Yeah, and you still get alpha gamers. You get one person going, right, now you're going to do this, you do that, and that's something that I don't.
Especially if it's your game and you're teaching it to somebody, there's the tendency to tell them what to do on their turn, and that doesn't necessarily feel good for the person being told.
Yeah. Another game that I really enjoy at 2 players, but I do enjoy it more with more. It was one of my top games. Is the Art Project.
You played that at 5 players, 6 players?
I played it at 4. I've not played it at 6 yet. I played it at 4.
4 players.
I've played it twice at 4, and then we've played it at 2 a number of times, and it's good either way.
Yeah.
But I just really like it at 2. It's really tight at 2.
Yeah.
I think it's just got the right amount of difficulty, and it works really well. And I don't feel you can necessarily alpha game it, because you have to negotiate, and negotiation is such a key element to that game.
Yeah.
It's such a key element to a relationship.
Oh, look at you getting all...
Look at me.
soppy.
I'm like a relationship guidance counsellor.
Wow.
Who'd have thought that after all my romance talk last week's episode and my romance talk this week's episode, I'm going to be like a romance guru. Get into romance, and an Instagram account coming soon. Look forward to
You've got
that
time
one.
to run 3, have you?
Yeah, of course. I don't run the second one. That's the cat, and it's only the cat. That's nothing to do with me. And one of the other ones, I'm just going to say one more last one that I do enjoy playing at 2. It doesn't bother me to play at a higher play count, because I don't feel it really. We have played it before at a higher play count. I played it at 6, and it takes forever. We played it at 4, and it was fine. I played it at 6. You have not.
I'm just trying to work out what you're talking about.
It's Flamecraft.
Oh, yeah. I waited while you were playing a game at 6 players. I was when are you going to finish this game?
It takes forever. That's it. Weirdly, though, you don't have any difference in cards. You'd have thought the cards would go through quicker. Maybe because it was newer and I was getting used to it. But we played it at 4 recently, and that was fun. We got through that quite quick, and that was a good little game. I would add, I'd add Flamecraft to that kind of, and it's a really nice amazing table present. It's really cute.
You prefer
metal
it
coins.
at 2, do you?
I think so.
Oh.
I don't think adding more players adds anything to the game.
Well, it only stops you from going to certain spots, doesn't it?
Yeah, it doesn't.
Which would irritate you.
Well, yeah. I don't like anyone in the shop I want to go to.
Talking of irritating,
yes.
Shall we move on
to
games that you should definitely not play on Valentine's Day, in my opinion?
Yes.
Or in our opinion.
I think, yes. I think that's good. I think there's
Do
definitely...
you want to start?
Yes.
The game we no longer have in our collection because you don't like it.
Doctor. No. So that's for a whole nother episode. So basically, I think a terrible idea for playing on Valentine's Day would be if you decided to play Seven Wonders Duel.
Oh, there's going to be people who
There's
are
going to be
crying
people
out.
going, did he say Seven
What?
Wonders?
What?
Did he say Seven Wonders Duel? I heard his voice slightly crack. And I definitely said Seven Wonders Duel. Not because it's a bad game, because it's a garbage one. No, because I just don't get it. It's not fun. It is
for some people.
No.
I quite enjoyed it.
No.
And then I can never play it.
I'm possibly wrong, but it might be the highest rated 2-player game on Board Game Geek.
Yeah.
Universally loved.
Yeah.
I just don't like it. I just think there's so much. Well, there's huge elements of swingy luck. There's
You didn't like the fact that I would always go for science, you would always go for war. There was like a particular strategy that you could employ all the time.
Yeah, and I know there's loads of ways to win and blah 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 blah, but it wasn't exciting. It wasn't fun. I didn't feel like I was doing what I didn't feel like I was gaining the resources.
Didn't feel like you were building wonders.
Not in the way that
but
Seven Wonders.
You do like Seven Wonders Architects.
I love Seven Wonders Architects because I'm physically building a monument.
Yeah.
A wonder, sorry. And it just doesn't excite me. Over 3, maybe it just took too long for me as well. Like 3 seasons of this malarkey. Come on.
I think it was the table that was the game. I've got table on the brain. It was the game that I thought you were most likely to tip the table over for, other than Monopoly.
It was just annoying
because we'd get like through the second whatever era, wasn't it? They're
Yeah.
called eras. We'd get through the second era, you'd be like, right, that's it, down tools. I know you're winning. Let's give up.
Yeah, I feel like you can. I don't like a game when it's like, okay, well, this is over, and now I've just got to go through the motions now to the end of it. There's no point in that. There's no fun in that. It's like when you, like, if a game has a score track and you can see someone's on 90 and someone's on, I would rather the scores be done at the end rather than scores be like a big score track. Yeah, I just,
let us know what we're missing.
I don't enjoy.
Well, I enjoyed it, but let
everyone
Craig know what he was missing.
People regularly tell me what I'm missing, and then I regularly.
So the other game that I can't stand, and is also I think quite highly rated, and you can get all sorts of blister packs for it and all sorts. But I never understood it, and also you found a strategy that would work like 99.99% of the time to win the game. So correct. I just literally gave up. Which is Hive. So we would definitely not play this on Valentine's Day because I would get terribly annoyed that once again you had employed that silly strategy to surround all of whatever it was and win the game. Yeah,
but it also became boring for me.
Yeah.
Because it was so like,
easy to win.
Okay, I'll just do this.
But I used to try so hard to try and like beat your strategy, and I knew what the strategy was that was coming, and I still could not beat it. And it was just frustrating.
I've heard that the expansions, the pill bug or the ladybird, depending on how you want to refer to that, and the other thing, which I can't remember what it is. No, pill bugs are woodlouse. I don't know. Anyway, whatever, the ladybird and the whatever else it was.
Fix the bug.
They apparently they
you see that play on words then. Fix them. Oh,
I'm confused.
Because they're bugs and there was a glitch.
Raid.
I don't know.
Oh, anyway. Bug glitch. I like it.
Ha-ha.
I get it now. Computers.
A bit slow.
Internet. Apparently they help to kind of stop the beetle bomb is the right term. So I'm not going to go into the how to do it.
No, because once you know how to do it, the game is ruined.
But if you look up the Hive beetle bomb, you'll get the strategy to win every single game you play. Yes. And to me, if there's a strategy that will win every single game you play, that game is broken. But not this game is broken. That's a different podcast.
We don't own it anymore, and we would not play it on Valentine's Day because it would ruin the night.
Yeah, it's it was a bit more dull. I think you'd enjoy to play Seven. We have played Seven Wonders Duel on BGA, and that's good enough for me. If you ever wanted to, we have played it before recently, but there's no chance we'd play Hive again. No.
Anyway.
But yeah, I mean, Valentine's Day obviously is a time for giving gifts and stuff like that. And
what are you going to get me?
Nothing. But the thing is with gifts, I think the perfect gift obviously is a board game.
Yeah.
But
am I getting a board game?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, cool.
All right.
Which one am I getting?
The only chess.
Oh, okay.
Ludo, Monopoly.
No.
The only thing I find with gift giving is that you buy a game for someone and you give it to someone and it's like, it's yours to keep now forever.
Yeah.
And you might play it. I might go, oh, here's a copy of Hive. And you might...
And I'd be mortified.
Yeah, because you really said, I've just spoken for 20 minutes about why I don't like it. But the problem
and he wasn't listening.
Yeah.
Like usual.
That's not unusual. But yeah, I would give you a gift and it's yours to keep forever. And it's like, oh God, now I've just got to sell this because it's a rubbish thing that you bought me. Right. But what would be really cool is if there was a way of being able to, a kind of service on hand that I could just get a game for you or a number of games for you.
Yeah.
So we could play them together.
Yeah.
And then potentially send them back and then get different games in.
That would be amazing.
That would be really cool.
There is something that does that.
Sorry, what?
There is something that does that.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Why do I have to explain this every single week?
I'm really confused.
Right. We're sponsored by Rent, Shuffle and Roll.
Sorry, who?
Rent, Shuffle and Roll.
Okay.
Rent, Shuffle and Roll let you rent any of their 1,000 games on a monthly basis, so you can try before you buy or get access to a rolling selection of new games every month.
Every month?
Including this month, which has Valentine's Day in it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That sounds so good.
If you're feeling mysterious, you could take a look at their new Mystery Vault selection and see what you can solve. Use code GITG50 to support the show and get 50% off your first month.
Sorry. So whoa. So you're saying you could go to rentshuffleandroll.co.uk, use a discount code GITG50, and you get 50% off your first month
and you could
of
get
Rent, Shuffle and Roll. So I could buy you a gift for 50% less.
Yes. Moving on.
Yes, so Rent, Shuffle and Roll are a sponsor of our podcast. So please feel free to type in
They're not
go to rentshuffleandroll.co.uk and type in the code GITG50 to get 50% off your first month and help the podcast out in its own little way. Thank you, Rent, Shuffle and Roll. You're the best. There's a new thing I added. Did you like it?
No, I don't think it worked well with the husky voice.
I like that husky voice. Anyway, so
whatever floats your boat.
There's two of us, and there's games to play. They would be 2-player games.
Woohoo!
Man, I am the Segway king.
Yes,
I'm so good at segways.
Amazing.
I am. I'm the best cast podder ever known to mankind. So yeah, we're going to talk about our.
And these are games that are actually for
specifically 2-player games, bar one of mine, maybe, if you want to argue with me.
And one of mine. I sort of think it. Well, I only found out while I was researching for this that you can actually play it on more players because I assumed it was a 2-player game.
That's you researched.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So shall I talk about that one first?
Probably. You researched.
So, a really good 2-player game that I really enjoy. You don't like it quite so much, but I do enjoy it. And it was first sort of deck building card game I came across. I think we got it because I wanted a deck building card game, as I recall. And that is Star Realms. And it's about combat, and you're putting out these ships and bases in space, and you've got to try and beat the other player and get their authority down to 0 by building your hand up and trying to take out their bases and their ships and things. And it's really good. But I found out that if you put multiple decks together, more people can play. So it's not actually a 2-player game. The one box is for 2 players, but you can play it with multiple.
Yeah, I
players.
think there's a 4-player version out now, like a specific box that you can get a big box.
So really, it's an honourable mention because until now I thought it was a 2-player game. But I like playing it with the event deck that we just got recently at UKGE, and that has added a little bit extra to our gaming.
Yeah,
with that game particularly, I think it maybe made you like it a little bit more, so we can play it a bit more.
Yeah, I think my thing was. Tactically, I think it got into this is what I need to do.
Yeah.
My first choice, I will lead on from yours. And is definitely a 2-player game. But my choice is Star Wars, the deck building game. Now, Star Wars: The Deck Building game, to me, takes everything from has its base very much rooted in Star Realms as far as how you're playing. But what the Star Wars deck building game does for me is that you are a specific faction, your Rebels or your Imperial, and where you've got your planets, which have got. There's 12 planets in the box, but you can play 3 or 5 depending on the length of the game you want to play. And you can choose the order of the planets, so you can have some strategy of your bases, what the asymmetrical power can be, how you want to play that. You will get Rebels or you will get Imperial cards specific to yourself. But what's really cool as well is you can attack the Galaxy row, so the shop row that goes up the middle. You can attack that row. So if Darth Vader comes out and you're the Rebels and you've got enough power to wipe out Darth Vader from the row before the Imperials can get it, you can really base your strategy on that. I think with these games like Star Realms and the Star Wars deck builder games, you do have to know what the cards do.
Yeah.
And demoing Star Wars: The Deck Building Game about 15 times over a weekend. Now I know what the cards can do. I can kind of formulate my ideas of what I'm doing. You've got like the Syndicate as well, so you can hire like bounty hunters and bounty hunter ships and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a really cool balance, and yeah, the IP is for me is cooler, but it just gives me. I prefer the IP. Obviously, it's Star Wars. It has an IP, but I prefer the idea is that I am set to having this. This is the faction I need to be to win. Whereas what Star Realms gives is, are you just going to pick Blob and the yellow ones again because you know that the yellow ones draw you through your deck quicker and the Blob are really powerful? So, are you just going to do that?
I do like the idea that you can get rid of cards. So you can buy the cards, but you can also like stop your opponent getting them, because I think that's the bit in Star Realms that you don't always like. Like if I decide to go down the Blob route, you're like, oh, 3 Blob ships have come out and there's nothing I can do about it. Whereas in the Star Wars, the deck building game, you can mitigate that a little bit by...
Yeah, I mean, the deck building game does have its flaws. Like if a whole row of Imperial, if you're Rebel and the whole buying row is Imperial, you're like, okay, I can't buy anything right now, and that is a bit annoying. So it does have its things, but overall, I think the deck building game just has that cool kind of thing, and I like the fact that the planets all have their asymmetrical abilities. Like Hoth, you have to hit it 3 times to hit it once the first time, and then you can hit it after that. The Death Star can just blow up anything. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yes.
My next 2-player game is a Uwe Rosenberg game. I think it's quite high up the list on BGG for 2-player games, and that is Patchwork. We don't actually own this game. We played it at the Dice Box in real life. We played a lot of games of BGA version. I just really like it. It's tile placement, but you are so you're trying to make an aesthetically pleasing quilt with different shaped pieces, and the buttons are the currency that you use to buy the pieces. But if you buy pieces, they will also cost you time, and so you've got this track that you're going around, and eventually you'll run out of time. And the player with the most buttons, I think, is the winner. But it's just a very nice 2-player game. There's lots of versions of it. There's a Valentine's version. There's I don't know, lots of other versions.
Yeah, but, I mean, I'd probably say the reason we don't own it is, I mean, it's on BGA. There's a perfect version on BGA, and I know you should always try and have a physical version of the games because that's what you should pay for and that kind of thing. But there's, like, for us, we have Alice's Garden, we have Planet Unknown, we have, I mean, Tenpenny Parks. We have a lot of polyomino tile laying games.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily that play well at 2. We don't need a specific 2-player one to have.
Yeah.
But it's a great game and a great.
I enjoy playing.
Great choice. My next choice is going to be a bit of abstract and a bit of strategy. It's going to be Onitama. Onitama was probably one of the first abstract strategy games we got.
We've got it in a different language,
and we've got it in German. So, our copy's German, but it's awesome. It's chess light. So unlike chess, where you have to know that your horse does a funny L thing and your castle goes straight forward. I know all the names. I'm pretty clued in.
Down with the kids.
I'm pretty clued in on the old chess. With this, you have each game you have 5 different cards. Those 5 cards circle
different animals.
they're different martial art moves. Based on them, and you're basically 2 rival martial arts schools. And the ways to win, you get your sensei to the other team's shrine, or you take the other team's sensei, and any piece can take the sensei, which is pretty good. But yeah, these cards are always revolving around, so you're always having to look at your strategy, look at what your opponent's got, look at what you've got, think about what's coming to you next, how you could best plan your moves ahead. It's really cool.
I love that I took this to school to play with some of my Year 6 children last year, and then the child decided that they would get it for their birthday because they loved it so much. It
is one of those games that is it's so easy to learn because it's all in front of you. You don't have to keep remembering all the things like in chess, that kind of. But it gives you that. There are some cool expansions for it. I really want to try the hidden ninja one where there's a hidden movement. There's like a hidden ninja running around.
And there's the light one as well.
Yeah, but I think just as a base game, it's a perfect abstract.
And one day you will get it in English.
One day, I don't need it now in English. I know what a shank dank is.
But there's
or
like
whatever.
little.
That was my throat.
There's like little writing underneath the cards, which I'm sure says something cute. But
Oh yeah, it's got loads of awesome flavor text that is completely
exactly. So one day,
not readable.
One day,
fun.
Abstract strategy. Maybe, I don't know. Is it? No, it's more dexterity, I would say. Our new game, we've talked about it a few times. Om Shanti is a great 2-player game. It's a map that you lay out. You are either end of the map, and you have these gliding balls that you're trying to get into these target zones. And once you get to the far end, the furthest away from you, you win. And the gliding balls are so cool.
Yeah, it's like shuffleboard,
and it's purple.
Shuffleboard,
and balls. I love it. And it's a quick one to get out, and you can just play a quick game of it as a 2.
Yeah, I saw on their Instagram account they had a video of how they devised and made the game, and it was based on one of those pounds. You know those machines you drop a pound in and you spin it and you get a ball and you get a toy in there.
Yeah.
Their son or child had a Spider-Man glidey ball.
Oh right.
And they basically made the game from that, playing with a kid, and then created the game. Yeah, it's wicked.
That's really cool.
Yeah, Om Shanti's great. A really good game. Another one of the abstract strategy side of things for me is Koale from Hachette UK or Gigamic Games.
Only way to play is huge.
Yeah, huge.
Where you actually feel like you are picking up stuff.
If you're lucky to go to UKGE, make sure you go to the Imagination Zone and play Giant Koale. It's really cool. But we have normal size Koale. So Koale is Connect 4. You're trying to get 4 of your stones in a row. You have specifically 8 moves to do it. There are 4 on the 4 corners. There are 2 stones on each already in a different color. And the idea of this game is you have to place a stone on top of a set of stones and then move them in a straight line to drop off your stones. Mm-hmm. You have 8 moves. You have 8 stones to do it in. Apparently, it's doable in every single time. Very rarely you'll find it never doable. I don't know how that's done. It's probably witchcraft.
And I beat you yesterday.
And you did beat me yesterday.
It's very hard to beat Craig at abstract strategy game. But he wasn't feeling very well, and I took the opportunity.
But it's really good. Connect 4 with stones. All of those Q games, Corridor, Quixo, all of those Q games from them are fantastic. So any of them go in that position. But Koale specifically, because I really enjoy it.
Where should I go next?
To the next one.
Yeah, I know, but Clask, I think. I like Clask.
Okay, great. The next
it's it's in a huge box, and it's a wooden.
It's air hockey, isn't it? Essentially.
Yeah, essentially, it's a ball field which is raised up up off the table. You have these magnetic sticks where you have to knock your ball with the stick. You're trying to get it into a deep set hole at the far end, a bit like Om Shanti. You have to get it to the far end, but there are obstacles in the way, and you don't want them to get stuck to your magnetic stick, because if you do, that's points off, or you're penalised for that. And it's just a good fun.
Yeah,
and I just enjoy it.
Great game. Mine is my game. My next one is going to be the game that is not a 2-player game, because it's a 4-player game, but it's best played at 2.
That is not allowed. That was on the other list.
But also, if someone tells you that it's a 4-player game, they are lying, because it's Star Wars Rebellion.
Is it 4-player?
It was 2-player. It's a 4-player game.
But are you on teams then?
Yes. Which basically makes it a 2-player game.
Yeah.
Because what are you actually going to do? You're just going to discuss what you're going to do. You could play any 2-player game in a team and say it's a 4-player game.
That is a Star Wars game I do enjoy. Star Wars Rebellion.
Star Wars Rebellion. Essentially, there's a hidden role, hidden movement as far as the Rebel base, and the Empire just have a lot of ships and a lot of troops, and they're just hunting down the Rebellion.
It looks So I was always a bit scared of it, to be fair, because it's got a lot of pieces.
A lot of cards, a lot of tokens, a lot of dice, a lot of minis.
But actually, the gameplay is sort of straightforward. Like
Yeah.
I got it, like, and I thought,
Yeah.
oh, this is going to be really difficult, but it was actually really enjoyable.
Yeah, play cards do a thing. We've got the expansion as well. I don't think we added the expansion when we played it.
No.
But it's really good. Yep. That's So Stars Rebellion. Awesome.
So another sort of, I don't think it's abstract strategy, more like area control. We've talked about this before as well. Lacuna is, for me, a great 2-player game. We played it this week.
Yeah.
You have a cylindrical box. You pour the flower pieces into it. You shake it onto the mat. Mm-hmm. Where they land is how the game is set up.
It's flowers in a pond, isn't it?
There are 7 different coloured flowers, and there's 7 pieces of that type of flower, and you've got to try and collect the most. You put your silver or gold tokens in between the flowers to collect them, and then at the end, I think you have 6 gold or silver pieces, and then at the end, wherever you collect any flowers that are closest to your pieces, and it's just really pleasant. It's really like chill and quite enjoyable. So I enjoy that at 2 players. Well, it is only a 2-player game.
Another one for me is a dice game where you're 2 type of combatants battling each other using dice. And you roll your dice Yahtzee style, and it's not Dice Throne because that's trash. It is.
Great.
I've done it again. I've cursed.
Can't speak in this way.
I've said it again. No, it's Kapow. That's my throat again. Go on. Hello.
By the makers of Star
and Robot Quest Arena.
We got taught this game at UKG by the very nice man who made it.
Yeah. Kapow is really cool. It's a superhero versus supervillain battle. I do think you can play that 4-player as well, but again, that's teams, and it's 2-player.
I like that you can make up your dice,
customizable dice, like the Dice Forge thing. But you can, when you roll certain dice, you can buy new dice faces, so you really can customize your character. So, like in a computer game where you're leveling up your character as you go through the levels, and you can decide, do you want them to be quicker, do you want them to be more agile, do you want them to be stronger? You can actually decide how your hero battles. And I think that's a cool addition, rather than hoping I'm going to roll this. You can kind of control a bit of that dice luck, and combo up. You can do a like a beat 'em up in a computer game. You can do like a weak move, a mid move, and a heavy move. So you can really combo up a big, powerful attack on your enemies.
The artwork is really cool.
And it's really cool, that golden age of comic books kind of style.
Another, I would say this is abstract strategy. I think you'll tell me if it's not. Aquilin.
Yeah.
So you are either collecting sets of different creatures, or you're collecting sets of colours. You choose from 6 tiles, a bit like Azul tiles. You put it on. You can move one and then put one down. And then the next person has a go, etc. And it's cool how you can move and then really mess up somebody else's strategy by moving a piece away that they can't then put back. And I just like that term.
It's a real tug of war. You're like pulling away and stuff, and you're trying to get these sets of your colours or your sea life. You're trying to get those sets to get the most points that you can at the end. It's really a really cool little game. Good. A game that I really enjoy for 2 players is a polyonomino tile laying game for 2 players specifically, which is Paris, the Cité de Lumière.
You sounded a bit French.
Did I? Good. Very romantic.
It's beautiful. This game.
What is cool about Paris is it's the board is inlaid in the box, but what's really cool is it's quite mean. Because it's very tight. You on the first phase of the game, you are putting you're over placing the street. You're essentially placing the board that you can play on. You're either orange or blue. You're placing the ball, and then absolutely, and then you're placing the pieces down, and then you can pick up a tile, a polyomino tile that you'll be able to place. Like in my city, the polyomino tiles are one-sided, so you can't flip them or invert them. So you have very specific shapes to put them on, which makes it really, really, really tight. So as you're going through, you've got that in your first phase, and then your second phase, once the last ground tile is placed inside the board, you don't pick any more tiles up, and now it's your turn to place your buildings. You place your buildings; they score based on the number of street lights that are lighting up those buildings. You score. So if there's one street light and your building takes up 4 squares, you get 4 points. If there was 2 lights, you get 8 points.
And some beautiful postcards
and there's these,
with extra.
These really nice postcards. You can either place a tile, or you can put a token on a postcard, which will give you a special ability or a special piece to play in your which gives you extra points. So Paris the City de Lumiere, it's a really tight, abstract feeling tile laying game it's just really nice. And there's a cool expansion with
you can get the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, the Arc de Triomphe and the Eiffel Tower. So it's really cool.
Maybe that's what you could get me for.
But it doesn't fit in the base game box, so you'd end up with 2 boxes.
My next game is a silly game, really. We got this at Christmas, and it's called Catapult Feud. Oh, my voice has gone funny now.
Catapult Feud, lovely.
Catapult Feud, and basically it is a very silly game where you set up your fortress, and you have your soldiers, and you are firing catapults at each other, trying to knock down the fortress. There are cards that give you extra powers, and you can employ the tactics before you start, and then you just basically try and knock each other's. It's good fun.
It's a big toy, but it's a big silly game.
But it was based on a game, Catapult Kingdoms, I think,
or something. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that was good.
Cool. Another one for me would be a game called Odin's Ravens. Odin Ravens is a pure 2-player race game where you're sending out your ravens across the lands to go out and come back. But what you're doing is you have this terrain laid out, which are different coloured landscapes, and you play as many cards as you want on turn to move your raven as far as you can up the track. And then you draw up cards, but you can also have draw up Loki cards. Once the Loki cards are played, they're gone. But they're like Loki is mischievous, so you can move the terrain around. You can make it longer for your opponent. You can flip things. You can do loads of different cool things, which just make it a really interesting kind of race. It does take up a bit of space on the table when you lay out 16 landscape tiles to race on. Well produced, really nice art. It's a really nice game. We've had it for ages. We don't play it a huge amount, but I do enjoy it.
Yeah.
As a pure 2-player game, it's good fun.
I've tried to keep the last 2 are like my favourite 2-player games. And I was trying to work out which way to say them, but I think Mr. Jack for me is a good 2-player game. Yep. It goes down the lines of that kind of hidden movement, social deduction type thing that I like. Yeah. One of you is Jack the Ripper, one of you is an investigator, and you're moving people around the town, and if you're Jack the Ripper, you're trying to escape without somebody seeing you. Leave the town.
If you're Jack the Ripper, you're disguised as one of the investigators, but everyone can move everyone.
Yeah. It's just a really cool 2-player game. Yeah. I like the theme of it. Can't remember where we saw it now, but yeah, it's good. It's good. I enjoy it.
Yep. One of my other ones would be Codenames Duet, the 2-player only version. Very specific of Codenames. I really like the 2-player version. It's really cool because essentially you have the same board of words, but you have like a different assassin each and stuff like that. And the way it just plays it's just really nice. I love Codenames. Codenames is just a go-to party game, and always will be. But the Duet for specifically 2 players is really good.
Yeah. So my last 2-player game that I definitely think people should get for Valentine's Day, if you are in a pair and you fancy it, is, now I don't know how to say it, Taji or Tagi, I think. Essentially, you have a 5x5 grid. 16 of the cards are border cards, and your a piece will be working its way around. That's how you know when the game ends. There's 9 spaces in the middle for tribal cards or resource cards. The cards cost money, and you're trying to get like a tableau of cards that will score you points. Yeah. But I don't know. It's something about this game is really. I don't know what it is because it's not necessarily the theme.
It's a resource management worker placement game for 2 players.
I like the way that your pieces. So to decide which of the 9 cards you get in the middle, you have to place pieces, and where they would cross is the card that you can get. But you can't go opposite people. So I think I really like that element of, well, where am I going to put my pieces so I can get the best resources, or how can I get 2 resources, etc. on a turn.
There's a real
and
real
if
puzzle
you take a resource card, you replace it with a tribal card, and if you take a tribal card, you replace it. It plays really nicely, and the mechanics are really nice in it.
Also, I really appreciate that the expansion's name is Targi the Expansion.
Oh.
I should appreciate.
What does it expand? Because we don't have that word.
Just more cards and things. I don't know what it does, but yeah. How have I still got 2 left?
I don't know.
Okay. One of my other ones is going to be Boop or Boop. Halloween Boop. Boop is an incredible 2-player game. Abstract strategy to the best. You are playing kittens jumping around on a bed. If you put a kitten next to a kitten, you boop the kitten and they spread apart.
And you have to say boop.
And you have to say boop every time. That's the rule. If you play a kitten next to a cat, a kitten can't boop a cat, but a cat can boop a kitten, and a cat can also boop a cat.
It sounds really complicated, actually.
It's not complicated, but it's really strategically cool that you're trying to move these cats around the bed and bump these cats into rows of 3. And to win the game, you need 3 cats in a row. You start with 8 kittens. You have to graduate them into cats by putting 3 cats in a row, because we all know that 3 cats in a row, that's how you get kittens in a row. That's how you get cats. That's exactly how that works in real life. And then you have 3 cats in a row, you win the game. So I talk about them. Do you want to talk about this one?
I don't actually think that the ghost version adds too much to it. I just prefer the normal version.
Well, I like the Halloween one, and I think it is cool, and it's good to have as if you want something new. But the ghost basically floats up through you set your ghost off, and you set a ghost off. You can be scared by your own ghost, but it makes cats jump over kittens and jump out of the bed. So it just spooks people.
I just think it adds a level of complication you don't need.
Yeah, it does.
Booping is enough.
It does. It adds a level of chaos. Did you want to?
You want me to talk about one that's on your list, do you?
May as well. You may as well talk about that one. I'll talk about that one.
Okay. So this one I think we both enjoy. We haven't actually played it in real life.
Because it's real hard to get hold of.
It is. We do really want it, though. So if anybody knows where you can get a copy, or they no longer want their copy, please let us know. Thank
you very much. P.O. Box, get into games.
It is Caper Europe.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, do you want to explain?
Yeah, it's basically your criminals trying to on a heist, and you need to get the best.
Oh, that's why you like it.
The best
art project, Caper Europe.
The best. You're trying to get the best crew.
Have you stolen any art by the?
Yeah. I'm Banksy. Oh no! Don't no crap. No. I mean, I'm not Banksy.
No.
Yeah. So basically, you're getting the best crew together with the best stuff together to be able to do the best heisting. And you're trying to steal the money, but there's just only a certain amount of money, isn't there, in the game that both of us have to share. So we're all gaining the same amount of money, but one of us will have more. It's a real also, push and pull.
Do I remember it correctly? Because we haven't played it in a little while, but like there's fire and stuff, isn't there? Am I thinking it? There's like cards that.
Yeah, because cards that attack the other players and burn their. There's one that burns your clothes or burns your. Yeah. It's so good, so good. So Caper Europe is amazing. I would have 100% get it. It is a 2-player specific game. I think I saw it at. I did see it in the Bring and Buy at UKGE, but I didn't have any cash.
Oh,
And I remembered I didn't have any cash, so I just walked out, and then the security from the Bring and Buy just stared at me and thought I'd run off with the game, even though I hadn't. Just that I couldn't buy
That
anything.
is the issue.
Because, but Bring and Buy have changed at UKG this year, and you're only allowed to take 20 games in there when you
still
sell
need
it.
cash, though.
You still need
it
cash.
has not changed that.
That is rubbish. My number one, my last choice for
it
two.
Probably is your number one.
It is, yeah. My two-player game of choice that I would suggest would be Sky Team. Sky Team is like in a real aeroplane. You and your co-pilot are trying to land an aeroplane, but not allowed to talk to each other.
Concentrating, I would say. Concentrating.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. You can't speak about what you're doing. And there's dice plate you place around your player board. So you roll the dice in secret. You've got specific numbers. You are trying to score, place your dice to do different things like operate your landing gear, speak to ground control to clear the airplanes off the runway. Make sure you're coming in at the right. Make sure you're coming at the right speed. If you need to re-roll dice or if you need more concentration, like everything you should ever do is have a cup of coffee. That will always help. So you've got coffee that help mitigate stuff.
We've only played on BDA, but I've seen people's versions of it and the little coffee cups and the little planes and stuff. It looks so cute,
so good. So
we want it.
Yeah, but that's it. That's our range of 22 player games there for you to be able to.
Quick, go if you listen. Yeah, when it's out. Yeah, then you've still got time before Valentine's Day. Yeah,
you've got days
to buy all those games.
All of them, all 20. Use code Get Into Games on whatever website you use, and nothing will happen. Nothing will happen.
Blame us when you are short of cash.
Yeah, exactly. So we asked on the internet sphere for some fantastic.
Well, to be fair, I didn't realise you had asked.
Okay.
So I was seeing people were doing it.
Yep.
And by doing it, I mean I should probably qualify that they were putting up their 2-player board game menu.
By doing it, I meant they were putting up.
But you hadn't actually told me, so I was just seeing these things, and then I said, "Oh, perhaps we should ask," and you said, "Yes, I already have." So
yeah, exactly.
Like, okay.
So we've got two fantastic humans that have sent in human people that have sent in voice menu memos.
Is this going to work? Do you think
it's going to work?
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
That's
real other people,
real humans.
This could be you next week.
This could be me. This could be Rotterdam. And so first of all, we have Alex from Waltzes with Meeples sent in a little menu for us.
My cooperative board game menu. To start with, a nice little round of Magic Maze, followed up by a main of your guys' favourite, the Art Project, and to finish for dessert, a nice little round of Just One.
So I'd enjoy that one. I don't know how many people he's having round for tea.
Quite a few.
With Just One. But Magic Maze.
Well with two, does it?
No, definitely not. But Magic Maze is great. Love it.
So I've got some. Mania.Doubelstein said Hanamokoji. Nice. Lost Ruins of Arnak, The Missing Expedition, and then Jaipur. We didn't talk about Jaipur. We had Jaipur. I don't think we have Jaipur anymore.
No, that went in with the Seven Wonders jewel.
But it's very highly regarded as in 2-player games.
It is good. I just think
we just had other games that we preferred. I think.
Yeah.
We've got Spaghetti and Meeples said Project L, followed by the Star Wars deck building game. So they're on your wavelength. Followed by Railroad Inc., which I think you can play at more players, but it's
a nice Project L looks really fun. That's one that's on my list.
And then Always Plays Blue said Jaipur, Taji, and Tokaido Duo.
Nice.
And then Mary Louise _board game said Seven Wonders Jewel, so she will be one of those people who not agree with you. Sushi Go and Jaipur. So Jaipur is getting a lot of love.
Yeah, and I've also got one more from Chelsea from Board Game After Dark. Here we go.
Hi, it's Chelsea from Board Games After Dark on Instagram. My Valentine's Day board game menu would be for starters, Splendor or Jewel. For main, we would go for Wingspan with the Asia expansion. And for dessert or pudding, we would do Quacks of Quedlinburg. Not necessarily a 2-player, but we think it plays really good with all player counts. So, yeah, that would be us.
Cool.
Yeah, Splendor. I enjoy Splendor. I've never played Splendor Duel.
No.
I love Splendor though, and it does work at 2-player without it. The Splendor Duel cover, for everyone, if you got it and you held it in front of you, and you look at the crown and the 2 gems, it looks like a giant frog mouth, a frog with 2 gems, or his big googly eyes and this big mouth of a frog. So good luck.
You have way too much time on your hands if you are.
Good luck getting that out of your head.
What is wrong with you?
But Quacks of Quedlinburg is really cool. Really good choice. That was a good menu.
I liked hearing people in, well, not in real life, but recorded other people's voices. I like that.
I do. I prefer listening to other people's voices.
Oh.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Thanks.
Yes. So, one other thing to quickly mention. If you are looking for the perfect gift for Valentine's Day, a lot of the time people think about something really shiny, something really blingy.
Shiny.
Yeah, exactly. Shiny, blingy, something you can show your friends and be like, look what they got me. Look what they got me. How exciting. And why not upgrade your board games? So as you may have seen on Instagram, we got some upgrades for Wingspan, Lost Ruins of Arnak, and Brass Birmingham, and some beautiful, beautiful components in the gold coins or compasses for Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Are amazing.
They're such good quality. The photographs do not do it justice.
I am not a big need an upgrade kind of person. Like the game is fine as it is. Like I love Lost Ruins of Arnak. It doesn't necessarily need components, but when you showed me these, I was like, get this to the table now.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't stop touching them the whole time we were playing, and I just wanted to photograph them. They're so shiny and they feel so nice in your hand.
Yeah, you kept on going, I'm going to go and get gold. Why do you need gold? I don't know why I need gold, but I'm going to get gold. And also the Wingspan metal of
the worms,
enamel kind. They look like almost like enamel pins without the spike on the back, don't they?
And I didn't realise they were double-sided, and they're amazing.
Double-sided, really beautiful. We don't actually have the Oceania expansion
but that gives you
the need for the nectar, but we will have that very soon. But if you want to upgrade your board games, why not head over to Tinkertown Games on Instagram, or even head over to www.tinkertowngames.com. And if you use /getintogames, you will get yourself a 10% discount on anything that you buy from the web store.
Honestly, they are so nice.
They're so nice. It's well worth going. Check out my post about them, and check out their Instagram page. And you posted too. Everyone posts about Tinkertown Games. So head over to there. And remember to use the code GetIntoGames to get yourself a little bit of a discount on your purchase. Wicked. So yeah, that's the podcast. Again, thank you so much for listening to previous episodes. Thank you for listening to this episode. Please remember to send us more voice notes. Yes. We love hearing from you with your board game menus. So let us know what you'd like to see in the future as well. Feel free to drop us a DM. Make sure you're following myself on Instagram and Mrs. Get Into Games and Cat Into Games, who's making themselves very well known in the background at the moment. So make sure you're giving us a follow. DM us if you have any suggestions for the podcast or want to be on the show in the future. My voice is about to go.
And remember to
pack your lunch.
No. Get into games.
Remember to get into the games.